Good afternoon to everyone. So I'm taking the class today. Okay. So good afternoon to everyone. So now today topic is environmental audit. So this is the important topic and in your examination. Okay. So now you see what is the environmental audit. Why it is important in some of the activities or some of the industrial activities, right? So now you see here. So an environmental audit is a systematic examination to assess a company environmental responsibility. So it aims to identify environmental compliance. So verify environmental responsibility, implementation gaps. So whether they meet stated objectives. So along with related corrective actions, right? So the overview of environmental audit is an independent assessment. It performed by different organizations, that is to ensure that they are complying with the environmental policies, right? So it examined the amount of risk or injury or actual harm caused, and it determines the types of pollution and produced by assessing the range of locations and procedures and also activities, right? So this auditing procedure is a pragmatic management tool, right? So that helps an industry or organization verify compliance with environmental norms or requirements and evaluate the effectiveness of the environmental management system, right? And assess risks and also identify and correct environmental hazards. So it is the examination of accounts of revenues and cost of environmental and natural resources. So their estimation and depreciation and natural resources. So their estimation, depreciations and values recorded in the books of accounts. So this is the overview of environmental auditing, right? So now environmental audit. Audit is environmental management tool. For what purpose? Measuring the effects of certain activities on the environment against set a criteria or standards, right? So environmental audit try to measure, right? Try to measuring, right? Measure the impact of the business activity on environment against some particular criteria. So that may be regulation or a rule set by the government, right? So the environmental audit is a management tool, right? So used for what purpose? So it is used for measuring the impact of industrial activity, right? So now how much harm a particular activity or business activity causes to the environment. So it is determine the types of pollution caused by the activities, right? So now you see this figure, we have tried to correlate the industrial activity and its impact on environment, right? So first you will find there is a industrial activity, right? Industrial activity that is going on. And certainly there will be certain releases from that industry, and those releases will be having some impact on the environment, right? So now in the environmental auditing in third step, will assess, right? Assess the impacts of this environmental activity on the environment. And fourth one is there is a appropriate activity, right? So it means how these releases can be controlled or what else can be done, right? So now we are going to origin of environmental auditing. So what is the origin? So now we come to the origin of environmental auditing, that how this environmental auditing has emerged, right? So this environmental auditing originated in United States in the year of 1970s. So basically, due to the pollution caused by the oil and chemical industries. So in the 1979, the USEPA, it means United States Environmental Protection Agency, right? So it is first time, right? First time issued a draft report, and it's called to the independent, right? And certified third party auditors that visit plants, collect samples, and perform analysis and submit report to the governmental authorities, right? So similarly, in Europe, right? Europe environmental auditing started due to the reflection, right? Reflection of environmental hazards at large scale by chemical and photochemical industries. So the concept of environmental auditing have been widely accepted by the industries since in 1980s. So as a common management tool in developed countries, and this is increasingly being applied in developing countries also, right? So now the environmental auditing was a result of commitment of implementation of Agenda 21. So what is this Agenda 21? It means it was one of the document, right? So that was discussed during in the Earth Summit, right? Earth Summit, EART, Earth Summit in the year of 1992. Okay. So now there are several factors which are responsible for the increased awareness about environmental audit. And these factors are basically, first one is industrial calamities, and second one is public awareness, right? So first one, industrial calamities. So that is calamities means sudden damage or distress or disaster, right? So which have taken place. Several major industrial accidents such as Bhopal, example, Bhopal gas tragedy, right? And Chernobyl disaster. So they have got significant attention, which created need to environmental auditing under set corporate policies and standards, right? So the environmental audit reduces the risk of accidental environmental damages and protect environmental health and safety, right? And second one is public awareness. So what is public awareness? So this is the another factor. So in the 1960s, a book named as the Silent Supreme. You see here, this is the book name, Silent Supreme, was published. In that book, the effects, you see here, the effects of pesticides on the birds were highlighted for the first time. And since then, environmental awareness has increased a lot among public. So because of this, there is a pressure on the corporate. So there is a pressure on different companies or industries too. So it make the kind of impacts. So they have to make to public so that what impact they are having on the environment and how sensibly or how scientifically they are doing to control that pollution, right? So now we're going to scope of the environment. So the prime aim of environmental audit is to analyze the performance of existing management system and And depending upon the scope, audits can address one issue or whole range of issues. And third one is the audit team, right? Audit team size, time period, and depth of investigation. So it is depending upon the scope of audit, right? So the suppose it means suppose there is a small audit, right? Small audit means small company. So the audit team will be smaller in size, right? So if there is a large scale audit, then the audit team will be having automatically the experts from different arena. It means particular stage of activities, right? And the size will be very big of this team, right? So, and fourth one is the environmental auditing is applied not only health and safety management. So in companies operations, but also to product safety and quality management and to areas such as loss prevention, right? So these are the scope of the environmental audits. Now we are going to environmental audit types. So remember this. So in your examination, they are asking this one, okay, types of environment. So various types of environmental audits practiced, those are waste audit, energy audit, health and safety audit, and your compliance audit, management audit, waste minimization audit, liabilities definition audit, and property transfer audit. So these are the various types of environmental audits. So now we're going to one by one. First one is waste audit. What is waste audit? See here. So waste audits are environmental audits. So which specifically look at the waste management component, right? Waste management component of an operation or site, right? So in such audits, the various aspects of waste management, it would be reviewed and the methods, procedures, and systems checked and verified. So in cases where site management are reluctant to undertake full site environmental audits, so it is often easier to motivate for specialized waste audit because the results of this will often more readily generate data and actions which can save money, right? So a good waste audit, it would be, you see here, define sources, quantities, and types of waste generated, and also collate information on unit operations, raw materials, products, and also waste usage and wastes. And third one is highlights, right? Highlight process inefficiencies and areas of poor management. And next one is cause awareness, right? Cause awareness in the workforce regarding benefits due to waste reduction. And next one is permit the development of cost-effective waste management strategies, and also increase the knowledge of process, and it helps set targets for waste reduction, and also help to improve process efficiency, and also improve operation and maintenance of pollution control equipment. So these are the waste audit. Next one is compliance audit. So the most common type of audit, this is the most common type of audit. So it consists of checks against environmental legislation and company policy, right? So the compliance audits may be multimedia or programmatic, right? So multimedia audits involves identifying and auditing all the environmental environmental parameters. What are the environmental parameters? Like air, water, waste, etc. Right? So those are applied to the company. And programmatic audits which may also be called thematic or media specific, right? So these programmatic audits are limited in scope to specific areas such as air, okay, such as air. Now we are going to management audit, okay. So these are audits which are specifically designed to check and evaluate the effectiveness of environmental management system, right? So now the sound environmental management management at a site or in an operation depends upon procedures, work instructions, guidelines, specification, and training programs, and also monitoring systems being implemented by the employees of the organization operating on the site, right? And if these employees are not given the right instructions, training, and procedures within the system, they cannot be expected to carry out their work effectively, right? So thus the first stage is in auditing an operation is to check the presence, absence, and functioning of environmental management system. Okay. So then next, this then creates a baseline against which one can check the environmental functioning and organization more effectively and objectively. Okay. So this is the management audit. Next one is functional environmental audits. So now functional environmental audits are responsible for measuring the consequences of specific environmental pollution or hazard caused. So this particular auditing is authorized for investigation specific concern areas. It means such as evaluation of the monitoring of the maintenance of the air quality and waste management, etc. So now functional environmental audits are quite rarely conducted, and those are often included as a part of both environmental compliance auditing and the environmental management auditing, right? So now we are going to methodology. This is also very important. Methodology for environmental audit. So in this slide, we have tried to give about how the environmental audit is performed. So these are the steps one by one. Okay. You see here, first one is selection of audit team. So now, how to select? What will be the size of audit team? So that will depend upon the scope of your environmental auditing. Okay, scope of environmental auditing. And next one is study of unit process in the industry. So once audit team is identified, then we will study the unit process which are taking place in the industry, right? And next step is then we will develop, right? Develop the flow diagrams of different processes, right? And next one is then we will join all, right? All unit operations which are taking place in the industry. Then we will determine, right? Determine all inputs such as water, chemical, solids, fuels, right? And then next we will determine, right? Determine all outputs. So these are inputs and these are outputs, right? So outputs are includes all products which are produced by the industry, byproducts. So all waste products. So the waste product, whether liquid, whether gaseous, whether solid, and whether hazardous waste, right? So the all kind of outputs are calculated in this step, right? Then next, then we derive, right? We derive the material balance, or we can say then derive the mass balance, right? So from here, we will find out the efficiency of the industry, that how much raw material is converted into product and how much raw material is going as a waste, right? The next, based upon this mass balance, we will identify the waste reduction materials. And then we will evaluate, right? Evaluate environmental and economical implications of waste reduction. And also finally, we will go to the action plan. Okay. So this is the total plan of environmental auditing for industry, right? Got it? Right, next one. Now, what are the benefits of an environmental audit? So you see, the importance of an environmental audit in today's context is significant, right? So, and protecting the environment requires environmental assessment and audits. So, these assessments help to provide scientific data to understand better the risks so that pose a company and how they might be mitigated. Right? So now the benefits of an environmental audits include quick identify issues of non-compliance and minimize their waste and water and energy cost and avoid fines by regulatory agencies and also improve their relationships with key stakeholders. And next one is last one, identify opportunities for improvement in supply chain management, waste management, energy usage, and more. Right? So now these are the benefits of the environmental audit. And next we are going to importance. So what is the importance of an environmental audit? Right? So in a broad sense, the environmental auditing aims to help to protect, right? To protect the environment and minimize the risk of business activities to the environment and human safety and health. So whereas in the company's perspective, it aims to check whether the company has complied with the environmental regulations and requirements and achieved the previously set environmental goals, right? So now the environmental audits are also some important several reasons. So that is build a good company reputation. So that is the environmental audits can strengthen the company's image. So for example, although it may not be fully compliant, the improvement efforts made will be seen as a positive step by the public. And if it is complaint, it can lead to positive publicity and encouraging the public not to hesitate to continue buying products from the from that company, right? And audits help business become more sustainable. So it also creates new marketing opportunities so with other consumers. So for example, companies use formal recognition or accreditation as a tool to create preferences for the company's products, right? And next one is to adapt and comply with more stringent environmental regulations. So that is some of the governments adapt more stringent environmental regulations and standards, usually by international consensus. So it forces companies to comply if they do not want to be penalized, right? So then when done properly, a comprehensive environmental audit can uncover problem areas and provide recommendations for follow-up. So the company can fix it before its reputation is destroyed and regulatory problems arise, right? And next one is to avoid negative penalties or negative campaigns, right? So the increasing external demand for environmental responsibility by pressure groups and environmental activists. Those are forcing companies to check their compliance with environmental requirements. So the increasing concern for the environment has made these demands more and more popular. So if the company is not compliant, for example, they can campaign to boycott its products, right? That one. And some of the risk is there, right? So now you see the objectives. So objectives of the environmental audit. What are the objectives? So the objectives of environmental audit includes, you see step one by one. This is the first one. Okay. So that is to determine the mass balance. So it is very, very important. What is mass balance? Mass balance is nothing but we take what inputs are in coming to the industries and what we are getting the output in the farm for products, right? So some of the materials may be going in the form of waste. So to determine the mass balance of various materials used in performance of various process, right? So this is also very important because of a number. So industries using old process. So that is less efficient process, and a result of that, all the raw material is not converted into product, and a significant amount of the reacted and go as waste, right? And second one is to review the conversion and accordingly fix up norms for equipments and operations performance and minimization of the waste. And third one is to identify the areas of waste usage and waste water generation and determine the characters of waste water, right? And fourth one is to determine the air emissions, their sources, quantities, and also characteristics. And fifth one is to determine the solid and hazardous waste generated by the industries. So their source is quantities and characteristics. And last one is sixth one. So the possibilities of waste minimization, recovery, and recycling of waste. So these are some of the objectives of the environmental auditing, right? Now, so these are the stages, right? So this is also very important question. So in your examination, they're asking anyone from this, right? So there are different approaches which are used for environmental auditing, right? So environmental auditing is consist of mainly how many phases? 3 phases is there. First one is pre-audit activities, and second one is on-site activities, and third one is post-audit activities, right? So remember this, any activities, it is coming in your examination, right? So now, first we are going to first one, that is pre-audit activities. So pre-audit activities means pre-visit data collection, right? So this is in pre-audit stage, we have 4 stages here. You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So first one is plan scope of audit and select audit team and industry analysis, and also involve the workforce. So the first one is plan scope of audit. So what is this plan scope of the audit? So that is plan the scope of audit. That is first we have to do is the company how to decide the plan the nature and scope of the audit, right? So, and it should provide a framework for setting the goals and objectives of of the conducting this particular environmental audit, right? So thus for a framework for an environmental audit program with clearly defined procedures will be developed in this particular step, right? Now, second step is select audit team. How to select the audit team? So that is the members of the audit team will be selected, right? So it's like interview. So they will be selected based on their expertise in the environmental matters and their knowledge in the industry. So that is their knowledge in regarding the particular industry in which that particular company is working. So now we are going to conduct an environmental audit in a company. So that company will be working, or that company is a part of an industry, and this audit team member should have good knowledge regarding that particular industry, right? So based on this, the team members will be selected, right? And next step is industry, right? Industry analysis. So that is the before the audit or before conducting audits, the members should have a good understanding regarding the industry as well as the company which is going to be audited. So that the team may be submit a question and to the top management, and they will get information regarding the equipments used in the company. So regarding the location and the geographical area. So where the company is situated also, such details will be connected by the team by giving a questionnaire, by distributing questionnaire to the senior management, right? So, and also they will clearly define the total time allocated for conducting the audit. Okay. So now last step is involve the workforce. So that is the questionnaire will also be distributed to representative sample of the workforce. So that is a small number of people. Small number of people from the workforce will also get this particular questionnaire asking them about the major issues. So that is the key issues, right? So such questionnaire will be distributed to the 2 or few members of people in the workforce. So these are the 4 steps that come under pre-audit stage. So that is those activities which are performed before audit, right? So next we are going to another audit, on-site audit. So in this stage, the first step is, in this stage we are also 4 steps is here, right? So first one is inspection or inspect records. So in this step as inspection, right? Inspection of the records or documents kept by the company. So that is the certificates or complaints or discharge concerns, whatever, anything. So it can be anything like licenses, all such records or documents will be inspected by the team, right? So then next step is examine company policy. So this is the examination of the environmental policy to the company. So the company all policy will be examined, right? So the company will have an environmental policy, and this team will first examine the policy of the company from the company. So like, for example, at the event of the first stage, how it should respond and the event of an accident, that accidents occur, how it should act for such things, the company will be having a policy. So this audit team will examine the policy of the company, right? So now next one is examine lines of management. So that is examine lines of management and responsibilities. So there is the facilities of internal management system will be understood. All the teams will try to understand the facilities and internal management system, right? So now the audit team will try to examine this, right? So now next one is interview selected staff. So that is a confidential interview. So the confidential interview will be conducted a few number of employees, right? And a few number of staff will be selected from all levels of the operation. So from different levels of the operation, a few staff will be selected and confidential interview will be conducted with this staff. And the collect information particularly regarding the effectiveness of the systems like waste management system and etc. So regarding such things, a very confidential interview will be conducted with the staff from different areas of the operational levels of management, right? And last one is the physical inspection. So that is a physical inspection of the plant, the working practices of the company, the office management of the company, and all these things will be physically inspected by the audit team, right? So these are the steps in on-site audits, okay? And next we are going to another stage, that is post-audit. Pre-audit is over, on-site is over, and next one is, third one is post-audit, right? So this is the final post-audit stage, right? So in that, we have three steps is there, right? This one. So first one is, what is the first one? Evaluate findings, okay? Evaluate findings. So the audit team are very neat. They discuss about the findings, right? So they have got some findings from the audit stage and they need, and this is regarding these findings, right? And they will check whether they have proper evidence supporting their findings and they make sure that their findings are justifiable. So this is the first step of post audit stage, right? And next one is coming to report findings. So in this step, the audit findings will be in written, right? In written. So that is, it will be in a written format, will be made into a written format, and the audit team will have a discussion with the management of the company. And they will make sure that there is no interpretations, there is nothing. So that is wrongly interpreted and wrongly written in their report. They will discuss everything like this, right? So all their findings and all their suggestions with the management of that particular company, it will be given information regarding their complaint status, that is finalized the recommendations of the audit committee for improving the environmental performance of the company, right? And next step is prepare action plan, right? So in this step, the action plan will be formulated in order to address the issues pointed out in the environmental audit report, right? So, and in this step, assignment of responsibilities for corrective measures will also be done. And also they will determine the proper solutions and will establish schedules for implementing these solutions. So they have timetable for this implementing the solutions, right? So moreover, also in this step, they will recommend for a future audits. So that is they decide on the next environmental audit that can also be done in this particular step, right? Now you see this is the final one. So this is figure shows the different stages of environmental audit. So now first we are going to pre-audit and also we are going to audit stage and we are going to pre-audit stage, right? So these are the stages. And now what are the documents need for this auditing? So now see, so what are the documents need for this one, right? So that is conducting an audit can be auditing, right? And especially with all the documents required to create a comprehensive report, right? And companies generally need maps and floor plans for their facility to figure out where to perform the audit and how to do it, right? So additionally, companies may need to submit the following documents. So now you see here, environmental compliance certificates and environmental permits, all raw materials used in company procedures and environmental plans and employee training records, right? So coming up with all these documents are challenging enough. And considering that gathering the documents is only the start of the audit, and modern companies need to incorporate different tools to make it much easier to conduct these audits, right? So one of the tool is safety culture, right? That is formerly iAuditor. So this is all in one auditing tool is made for modern companies, and it comes with features that can simplify gathering documents and conducting audits for the team, right? Okay, so this is the environmental audit. Okay, so this is the important question. Okay, so just wait, I will upload another PPT. Sorry. So now we are going to another topic that is also very important. So this is also a compulsory question in your examination. So ISO 14001. So this is the certificate, right? So the ISO 14000 is a standard for EMS, environmental management system. So that is applicable to any business, and regardless of size, location, or income, right? So one second. So the aim of the standard is to reduce the environmental footprint of a business, and to decrease the pollution and waste a business produces, right? So the ISO 14001 is an environmental management system, right? Environmental management system. It stands which provides the framework requirement to manage the environmental aspects and maintaining the compliance obligations, right? So the entire objective behind environmental management system to prevent or reduce the pollution and efficiently, that is use of natural resources, improve the waste management so that it will not become the potential risk to environment and maintain the ecological balance within the ecosystems, etc. So as per environmental management experts, so now it is a social responsibility of every member to society to save what purpose? To save the environment from pollutions and misuse of natural resources and waste management. Also, government across the national and international levels are very much focused on this environmental management in view to protect the environment for our survival and for our future generation also, right? So the environmental management system ISO 14001 is an ISO standard, right? ISO standard. So which provide the framework requirement to protect the environment from adverse effects. And ISO 14001 provides the systematic approach to organization for protecting the environments from adverse environmental effects by managing the significant environmental impacts and also fulfill the applicable compliance obligations and also improving the overall environmental performance of the organization by proper management of environmental aspects and risk analysis and also controlling the products and services of the organization and it considering the life cycle perspective of the products and services. So when those are in use or after the life of the products, so it should be handles or disposed in such a way that it cannot harm to environment, right? So now the ISO 14001 is an international, right? Internationally agreed standard that sets out the what is that requirement for an environmental management systems, right? So it helps any organization, right? It helps any organizations improve their environmental performance through more efficient use of resources and reduction of waste, gaining a competitive advantage and the trust of stakeholders. So our environmental management system that conforms to standard specified by the globally recognized international for standards, right? Right. So now, the ISO 14001, when was this certificate first introduced? So that is, it was first published in 1996, right? 1996. So it has been adopted by well over 250,000 certified users in 155 countries. That is worldwide, right? So the most recent version has been updated and published in 2015, right? 2015, and that is known as ISO 14001 2015. And it was only released in September, right? September 2015. So the new standard takes the basis of the 2004 standard and brings it in line with the risk and process approach, the management system, right? Now you see an integrated management system, it's called IMS, right? So the integrates all of an organization's systems and processes into one complete framework. So that is enabling an organization to work as a single unit with unified objectives. So that is this equation, right? So what is this? So this is the IMS. IMS means, what is this? IMS, integrated management system, right? Integrated management system. So that is equal to QMS. QMS means quality management system, plus EMS means environmental management system, plus SMS means safety management system, plus ENMS means energy management system, plus FSMS means food safety management system, plus ISMS means information security management system. So that is an integrated management system is equal to all this one. Okay. So now what are the benefits of this ISO 14001? What are the benefits? So now you see here, those are legal complaints and increased reputation with consumers and competitive advantage, and also reduce waste and reduce cost and reduced insurance cost. So now legal complaints. So legal complaints means getting ISO 14001 certified ensures you are keeping up to date with legal regulations, right? So fines and bad press can devastate companies so that do not comply with the regulations. So this ensures that you keep ahead of the game, right? And next one is increased reputation with consumers. So more and more consumers are going green, right? So with half of digital consumers saying environmental concern impact their purchasing decisions. So getting this ISO 14001 certified displays to your customer that you have an active commitment to reduce your environmental impact, right? And next one is competitive advantage. So the ISO 14001 certification can help set you apart from competitors or help you keep up if they are already certified, right? So this also hold true if your organization is bidding for tender, right? So with more and more business getting this certified, it that is in 2018 in UK, 11,201 certificates were issued in 2018 in United Kingdom. Alone, not worldwide, only UK only. So it's important that your organization does not fall behind, right? And reduce waste. So the standard aims to reduce the amount of waste so that organization are producing. So from the unnecessary running of machinery to a lack of training causing excess materials to be left. So the standard aims to identify and mitigate all the waste. So by using more renewable energy sources and energy saving processes, your company becomes more efficient as a result, right? And next we have reduce cost. How to reduce cost? So naturally, an increase in efficiency will lead to reduced cost of running your business, right? So the cost of waste management should go down. Just as the need for the processing and removal of waste will be lessened, right? And next one is reduced insurance cost. So some companies might find that getting certified in ISO 14001 will reduce insurance premiums, right? So the certification proves your organization is performing strong due diligence in managing their environmental impacts. So which means there is less chance to, less chance of you being found liable of environmental negligence, right? So these are the benefits of ISO 14001. Now you see how many companies are got certificates, or you see here some of the top 10 countries for ISO 9001 certification. This is the latest 2022, right? So in China, you see this is the number, in Italy and India, Germany, UK, Japan, Spain, USA, Korea, and France. So these are the top countries getting ISO 9001 certificate, right? So ISO survey 2022, ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certifications around the world, right? So see which countries have the most ISO 9001 countries certificates, right? So based on the latest ISO survey, which estimate the number of valid certificates as that is 12, 31, 2022, December. Okay, December 31st. So top 10 countries. So these are the figure. So get for ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 certification worldwide. So the International Organization for Standardization, it's called ISO. It complied the number of valid certificates for 16 ISO management system standards. So and that is ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and ISO 27001, and ISO 45001, like this, right? So they are submitted by certification bodies accredited by members of the International Accreditation Forum. That is called IAF, right? International Accreditation Forum. So this accreditation data was provided from the IAF, right? So IAF certificate search database, which further improved the accuracy of the results, right? So ISO 2022 results, it provides 3 set of data, including the numbers of valid certificates for each country for 16 ISO management system standards, and sites covered by the certificates for each country for how many? 12 of the ISO standards. And next one, sectors for country covered by the certificates for 13 of the ISO standards, right? So you see, this is the 2020, this is worldwide, getting 1,77 lakhs 2,371, right? So in that 14,001 24%, and 45,001 is 11%, right? So this is the 17, 3,62,000. So right. So now who needs ISO 14001 certification? Where it is? Here. Who needs? So any business of any size, of any sector. So it can complement the ISO 14001 framework and apply for certification of their environmental management plan, right? So this makes it one of the most popular standards in the world, right? So now what is the validity period of this certification? So now you see, when you have passed the total formal assessment, you will receive an ISO 14001 certificate, which is valid for 3 years. Okay, 3 years, right? So now, anybody tell me what is the cost for ISO 14001? Any idea? Right, I will tell you, no, don't worry. So, cost for getting ISO certification, it is not fixed, right? It is depending upon the size of the organization, cost may vary. So, the total cost includes consultancy fee and annual audit and also certificate fee, right? So, this is the requirement to obtain a certification. So, this is the process, right? So, no need to just wait. Now you see here, this is the environmental policy. These are the requirements to obtain ISO 14001 certification. So that is environmental management system. Here is there. And next one is environmental policy is there. I already explained this one. And statement and policy requirements and provides a framework for setting environmental objects and commitment to continue documentation. So I already told about this one. Okay. So now you see here, these are the steps. Hey, అయిపోలే సౌండ్ తక్కువ చేసుకోమా. So you see here some of the steps. First step is appointment of consult by the industry or enterprise for the establishing EMS as per ISO 14001 standard, and also coming to establishment and maintenance of EMS including, and again going to application. Next one is application for certification to a certifying agency, and next one is auditing, and also you will get the certification. So this is the steps for getting ISO certification. You see costs, some of the cost. So certification depends on the nature, size, and initial status of environmental activities in the organization. So the cost certificate also depend upon the consultancy charges, execution quote of EMS, and also auditing and certification charges. So maybe total cost may vary 3.5 to 10 lakhs. It is depending on the size and nature of the industry, right? We can't say not exactly cost, okay? So this is the ISO 14001 certification. Just wait. Now you see, we are going to next topic is solid waste management, right? Solid waste management. So now you see, waste. What is waste? Waste is defined as any unwanted or unusable substance. So that is discarded after primary use, right? So any unwanted or undesirable substances that is thrown away after its primary use. So they are generally generated from humans and also animal activities, right? So the urbanization and increased advancement in industrialization has resulted in the generation of huge amount of waste. So over the years, the waste gets accumulated and causes a lot of impact on the environmental and health of an individual, right? So this is the definition. So waste management is generally intended to reduce the effect of the waste on the environment and health. So based on this, it is essential that we have to understand, we should have know about what is waste. So how it is classified, and you can segregate into different classifications, right? So now let us look into the classification of waste based on the physical state of material, and wastes are classified into how many types? Three types. Okay, you see here. So this is the classification. So based on which one? Physical. Remember this physical state, right? So first one is solid waste, and the second one is liquid waste, and third one is gaseous waste, right? So now you see here solid waste. So solid waste can be in the form of a solid or semi-solid, right? So for example, waste tires and also scrap material and latex paints and furniture, etc., etc., right? So that is solid waste. And liquid waste. Liquid wastes are waste which are in the form of a liquid. So it is also called as sewage waste, right? Sewage waste. So they are generated from domestic washings and chemicals, oils, and also other household liquids, etc., right? And gaseous. Gaseous means gaseous wastes are wastes which are generated in the gas form. For example, of them, those are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and also ozone, methane, etc., etc. Right? So these are the gaseous waste, right? So now you see first one is solid waste. So now solid waste comprises of all the waste arising from human and animal activities. So that are typically solid and that are discarded as useless or unwanted. So generally, solid waste are the materials which we are throwing from our domestic uses, right? So it includes trash, garbage, metal, and scrap, etc. So which arises from the daily human activities and which is normally discarded as useless or unwanted material. So it is going towards the land pollution in urban as well as industry areas, right? So now classification of this solid waste, okay? So solid waste are divided into three types. So that is first one is source based, and second one is type based, and third one is property based, right? So these three are on the source of generation based on the types and their physiochemical properties, right? So now based on source of generation, they are categorized into this municipal solid waste, industrial waste, and institutional or commercial waste, biomedical waste, and also agricultural waste. So based on the type, solid waste are categorized as garbage, rubbish, bulk and ashes, street waste and dead animals, and construction and demolition waste, and also sewage waste, sludge plastics and mining waste, and also radioactive waste, right? And next one is based on physical properties. The waste are categorized into biodegradable or organic waste, and also non-biodegradable or inorganic waste, and also hazardous waste and non-hazardous waste. So these are the classification of the solid waste, right? Now you see here, based on source, right? First we are going to first one, based on source. So now let us look into the details of each type of waste, look into the municipal waste. In that first one is municipal waste, it's called MSW, right? So the municipal solid wastes are those wastes which are commonly referred to as trash or garbage. Examples like street waste, dead animals, abandoned vehicles, household garbage, and packing some of the materials, and also other refuse materials. So which are generated from day-to-day activities, right? So now you see, in metro cities in India, an individual produces an average of 0.8 kg waste per person daily, you see 0.8 kg. So the total municipal solid waste generated in urban India has been estimated at 68.8 million tons per year, right? So this is the 2008 data. So the average collection efficiency of this municipal solid waste management ranges from 22 to 60%, right? So now we're going to next one is industrial waste. So industrial wastes are generally waste generated during which one? Industrial activities. What are the industrial activities? Such as manufacturing and also processing involved in chemical plants and paint industries, cement factories, thermal power plants, petroleum and coal gas industries, and sanitary textiles, and also some of the food processing industries. So those are generally categorized as industrial waste, right? And now next one is institutional or commercial waste. So this is the solid waste originating from administrative, educational, and public buildings such as offices, schools, and colleges, hospitals, and government centers, and also other commercial establishment like restaurants, hotels, markets, and retail shops, and where warehouses are called as institutional or commercial waste, right? And next we are going to biomedical waste. So all of you know about this biomedical waste. So that is as a name suggests, wastes produced from which one? Biomedical means hospital, okay, and health centers, and also other nursing homes are categorized as biomedical waste. So it may be solid or liquid waste, and it includes discarded blood and this one sharps, soiled waste, and disposals, and some of the anatomical waste, cultures, discarded medicines, and also other chemical wastes, right? And next one is agricultural waste. So wastes are generated by agricultural activities. So what are the agricultural activities? So it includes both natural and non-natural waste, right? So, and they are generated from farming activities. So examples, dairy farms, horticulture, and seed growing, and livestock breeding, grazing land, market gardens, and nursery plots, and also even woodlands also, right? So some of the examples include spoiled food grains, vegetables, animal and plant waste, and also some of the little pesticides and fertilizers also, right? So now I stop here, okay? So based on the type, I will tell in next class, or Ashok sir will take the class, maybe. In case I will not take the class, I will take, okay? So any doubts up to here in this PPTs, any doubts, ask me freely. Anyone is there? Yes? Yes, anyone? Any questions?
No, madam.
It's okay. So tell me, who is this? Janaki Kumari Bhagyaraju, and also other one is there, VOV2303. I don't know who is this. Okay. So anyone from Andhra? Anyone? సో సారీ టు సే, ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ మనకి ఆంధ్ర వాళ్ళకి ఇక్కడ క్లాసులు అవ్వట్లేదు. వైజాగ్, విజయనగరం, సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్లేసెస్ ఇన్ ఏపీ. సో ఓన్లీ మన అంటే ప్రాక్టికల్స్ కూడా మనకి ఇక్కడ అవుతున్నాయి కదా, సో వాళ్ళకి అక్కడ అవుతున్నాయి. బట్ మనకి థియరీ మాత్రం ఆన్లైన్ లో అందరికి సేమ్ అండి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. సో మీరు ఇన్ కేస్ వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో లేకపోతే చెప్పండి, యాడ్ చేస్తాను. దాంట్లో మీకు ఈ పీపీటీస్ కానీ ఇంకా అదర్ మెటీరియల్స్ ఆర్ ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ అనేవి అప్లోడ్ చేస్తాను. మీకు ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటే చెప్పండి. సో భాగ్యరాజు, యు ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆంధ్ర. సో యు ఆర్ ఇన్ వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ లో ఉన్నారా మీరు? No, okay. So send me your number. So I will add the group. Okay. సో ఇంకా ఎవరైనా ఏపీ నుంచి ఉంటే చెప్పండి. ఓకే, రైట్. ఐ విల్ add this one. భాగ్యరాజు, రైట్? 883399 6110, రైట్. సో ఎగ్జామ్స్, ప్రాక్టికల్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ గురించి మీరు టెన్షన్ పడకండి. ఇవి ఇక్కడ మన హైదరాబాద్ సెంటర్ లో అవ్వవు. ఓన్లీ థియరీ క్లాసెస్ మాత్రమే మీరు వినొచ్చు, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. సో ఇన్ కేస్ గ్రూప్ లో యాడ్ చేసినా గానీ హైదరాబాద్ సెంటర్ వాళ్ళ గురించే చేస్తాం. ఏమన్నా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే డైరెక్ట్ కాల్ చేయండి, ఓకేనా? ఓకే, భాగ్యరాజు. సో భాగ్యరాజు, మిమ్మల్ని గ్రూప్ లో యాడ్ చేశాను. అదన్నా ఉన్నప్పుడు కాల్ చేయండి. దీంట్లో జస్ట్ ఓన్లీ ఇది హైదరాబాద్ సెంటర్ వాళ్ళకి. ఇంకా ఇన్ కేస్ మీకు ఏమైనా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలంటే చెప్పండి, అంతే. సో దాని గురించి మేము యాడ్ చేసాము. ఇంకెవరైనా ఉన్నారా ఏపీ? ఏపీ వీళ్ళెవరు? 2 నెంబర్లు ఇచ్చారు మీరే అనుకుంటా, భాగ్యరాజు. ఆల్రెడీ యాడ్ చేసాము. అచ్చా, జానకి ఉన్నదా? జానకి, రైట్. జానకి,
మేడం
జానకి, జానకి మీది కూడా నేను యాడ్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే మేడం, థాంక్యూ.
అంటే మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఇది ఓన్లీ హైదరాబాద్ సిటీ సెంటర్ వాళ్ళది, ఇక్కడ హైదరాబాద్, వరంగల్. కానీ మీకు ఏమన్నా అంటే దీంట్లో మీకు పీపీటీ కానీ ఇవన్నీ షేర్ చేస్తాం కదా, మీకు యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అందుకని ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ కూడా మేము దాంట్లో పెట్టేస్తాము, మీరు చూసుకోవచ్చు. ఏమన్నా డౌట్ ఉంటే నాకు కానీ అడ్మిన్ మన డాక్టర్ అశోక్ సార్ ఉంటారు, తనకి కానీ కాల్ చేయండి.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. సో నేను చూస్తున్నాను మీరు రెగ్యులర్ గా వింటున్నారు జానకి రెగ్యులర్ గా వస్తున్నారు క్లాసెస్ కి నా క్లాస్ కూడా వస్తున్నారు మీది వాట్సాప్ ఉందా జానకి దీనికి రైట్
ఉంది మేడం.
ఓకే సో చేశాను చూడండి ఓకేనా ఓన్లీ 2
Okay.
మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నారు 2 మెంబర్స్ నేను యాడ్ చేశాను
Yes, ma'am.
ఓకే సో రైట్ ఈ రోజు యాక్చువల్ గా సార్ బిజీగా ఉన్నారు నన్ను తీసుకోమన్నారు అందుకే నేను తీసుకున్నాను ఓకే నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ సార్ పావని కూడా ఉందా పావని ఇక్కడ కాదా లోక పావని పావని అని పెట్టారు ఓకే 7997454. సో పావని యు ఆల్రెడీ యాడెడ్ ఇన్ దిస్ గ్రూప్ అని వస్తుంది మరి సో పావని ఆల్రెడీ గ్రూప్ లో ఉన్నారండి మీరు ఓకే డోంట్ వరీ ఓకే సో నౌ ఐ క్విట్ దిస్ క్లాస్ ఓకే